Apyayantu mamangani pakpranasyakshushrutramato balamendriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahmopanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarut anirakaranamastu anirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May quietness descend upon my limbs, my speech, my breath, my eyes, my ears. May all my senses wax clear and strong. May Brahman show himself unto me. May I never deny Brahman, nor Brahman me. I with him and he with me. May we abide always together. May there be revealed to me who am devoted to Brahman, the holy truth of the Upanishads. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. This morning our subject is Shankara's life and philosophy. We are observing Shankara's birthday anniversary. Shankara. Shankara introduced himself in this small verse. Krite Vishwaguru Brahma Tritayam Rishi Sattama Dapare Vyaseva Syat Kalau Atra Bhavamyam. In the very beginning, in the Treta Yuga, you can see this high. In the beginning, Brahma was the Guru. He taught the 4 Vedas, the wisdom. In the Treta Yuga, Vashishta was the teacher. In the Dwapara Yuga, Vyasa was the teacher. And in this Kali Yuga, I am the teacher. That is the way Shankara introduced himself. Who carried the wisdom of Vedantic knowledge. It is almost impossible to think of Vedanta philosophy without Shankara, who was the great exponent of Advaita Vedanta. What is Advaita Vedanta? Shankara himself said, Shlakardhena prabhakshyami jaduktam grantha kochibhi brahma satyam jagan mitha jiva brahmaiva napara. What has been expressed, enumerated in millions and millions of books, that I shall tell you in half a verse. Half a verse. Brahma Satyam, Brahman is the reality. Jagan Mitha, this word is apparent, not absolutely real. Jiva Brahmaiva, the all individual beings are nothing but Brahman. That is the ultimate truth. Somebody asked Sri Ramakrishna, could you give me knowledge in one sentence? Yes. Brahma Satya Jagat Mitha. Brahman is real, world is not real. That is the truth. What is that ultimate truth? All philosophical schools, all great teachers explored this ultimate truth. Gurupada says, na nirodho, na chotpatti, na baddho, na sadhaka, na mumukshu, na mai bhukto, ityesha paramarthata. Paramarthata, the ultimate truth is, there is no dissolution, nirodha. No cha utpatti, there is no creation. No dissolution, no creation. No bondage, no liberation. No spiritual aspirant, no desire to know the Atman, Brahman. This is the ultimate truth. Sometimes it is confusing to us. Well, when this Dvaita, this duality dissolves, the ultimate reality prevails. The ultimate. How can I realize it? Vedanta says, Shrutibhu Shruti Vaikibhu Mantabyusya Upatibhihi Matvasa Satatam Dheya. Iti darshana hitava. Darshan means to see, to realize. How can I realize? Shrutibho Shruti Vaikibho. Listen carefully. The teachings of the Upanishads, the experiences of the seers of truth. Listen from your Guru. Then reflect, think about it. Only listening will not do. Sometimes people listen, it goes through one ear and goes through the other ear. No, not that way. Reflect on it, think about it. And then meditate on it. Through meditation, the door will open. Shankara mentioned this human life is very precious. It is not easy to get a human body. These three things are rare. Shankara mentioned in Viveka Chudamani. Manushittam, human birth. Mumukshuttam, desire for liberation. And Mahapurusha Sanksara, the company of a great soul. If you have these three, you are fortunate. Shankara mentioned that why are you born in this world? What for? Jivan mukti sukha prapti hi tabe janma dharitam atmana nitya mukti na natu samsaru kammaya. It is a great verse of Vedanta. Shankara says, Swami Chetanananda says that when I read that verse, I really understood what is the purpose of human life. Jivan Mukti. Bliss of Jivan Mukti. Living free while you are living. You will experience the bliss of illumination in this very birth while you are living in this world. For the reason you are born. Otherwise, Atma is Nitya Mukta. It has no desire. Atman has no desire. He has no desire to enjoy this world. You see, it is the desire which is the problem. Desire. What does it come from? Ignorance. What does that desire do? They force us to work. You may be billionaire, but billionaire has billionaire desires. Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, they know that Microsoft and Amazon, these are rich people. They have rich desires, many desires. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we find 4 words about desire. Akamo. An illumined soul, his desire does not go outside for external objects. Nishkamo. He does not have desire inside also. Some people harbor desire in the mind. Third, aptukamo. Aptukamo means his all desires are full. If the pitcher is full, you cannot put any more water. So his all desires are full. No more desires. And Atmakam, he only desires for the Atman. That is the sign of an illumined soul. Vedanta, we shall talk about Shankara's philosophy. I am just giving you a little introduction so that you know what we are going to study today. Ajatavad, Shankara's guru's guru. As I said, this wisdom of Vedanta came from guru to disciple. Brahma gave these Vedanta teachings to his son Vasishtha, Vasishtha to Shakti, Shakti to Parashara, Parashara to Vyasa, Vyasa to Shukadeva, Shukadeva to Gaudapada, Gaudapada to Govindapada, Govindapada to Shankara. From Shankara came the 10 sects of Vedanta teachers. And they spread this message of Vedanta all over the world, all over India. Ajatavad. Na koshit jayati jiva shambhavoisya na vidyati etaduttamam satyam jatkinchit na jayati. We see this world, we see human beings. He says, Gaudapada says, these human beings are not born. Nobody produced them. This is the highest truth. Brahman, Atman doesn't born. Aja. I remember one of the very funny stories. One of my friends was a follower of Ajatavada. He used to believe that I am not born. So we are in Advaita Ashrama. So his mother sometimes used to come to see him, and he used to bring a lot of foods. So we used to tease him. Now you go, tell your mother, who are you, woman? Because you say that you are not born. We used to tease him, that I am not born. So you go to your mother and tell him, who are you, woman? Funny. Sometimes those who come to Vedanta, I sometimes explain them. Watch my 5 fingers. Osti bhati priyo. Existence, knowledge, bliss, that is Brahman. Nama, rupa, that is Maya. This Nama, rupa, in this world where we live in, we have all names, we have all forms. Whatever we see in this world has a name, has a form. A name and form evolve and dissolve. It is just like the ocean. Billions of waves are rising and falling, rising and falling. So all this creation you see in the ocean of that consciousness, we are rising and falling. Try to understand this world in this way. Substratum is that consciousness, Brahman. Without that Brahman, we are nobodies. Well, that is the introduction. Now I shall tell you about Shankara's life. Shankara lived only 32 years. Emerson says, great geniuses have the shortest biographies. Shortest biography, all the great geniuses. Anyhow, Shankara's father's name was Shiva Guru and mother's name was Vishishta. They are in Kerala. There is a village named Kalaji. I went there in 1986. I stayed there for 2-3 days. Beautiful place. Very close to that Purna or Alva river. Shankara, this old man has no children. So they went to the nearest Shiva temple, their village temple and the deity. So they fast and pray to Lord Shiva to give them a son. Shiva was pleased, appeared before them. What kind of son do you want? If you want Sarvagya, all-knowing, you will not live long. Or if you want an ordinary son, that also is possible. What kind of son do you want? Dirghayu, a son with long life, or a son short life but all-knowing? What kind of son do you want? Well, we want a son which is Sarvagya, all-knowing. Then Shankara says, then I will have to be born as your son. That is the way Shankara was born. Very precocious boy. He has Shrutidhar. Whatever he hears, he does not forget. His father died when he was 3 years old. Poor mother sent him to school. And the teachers are very fond of this little boy because he was brilliant. Whatever he hears, does not forget. So he learned all this Ramayana, Mahabharata, all the literature when he was 3-4 years old. You see, we read same book again and again, but he will not have to read. Whatever he hears, he remembers. Whatever he reads, he remembers. Then at the age of 5, he has the secret ceremony. Then he went to the Guru Griha. There he learned all the Vedanta and other scriptures. Then one day, as like a brahmachari, he went to beg food from door to door. So he went to a poor family, and that woman said, we are so poor, we cannot give you anything. I am sorry. She was started to cry. I have only one amulaki fruit that I can give to you. He took that amulaki fruit and prayed to the goddess of fortune, Mother, please make these people rich. The Divine Mother said, their karma made them poor. How can I make them rich? Mother, they gave me amulaki. They give something to me. All right. Next day they found their house all around, all gold amulakis, gold. So his news spread everywhere. People are curious to know about his miraculous power. Then the king, Kulashekara, he came, he wanted to see this boy and sent the elephant. He said, no, I am a brahmachari, I do not go to the king. I don't need anything. Why should I see a king? Then the king himself came and paid respect to this little boy and gave them some property so that their family will not suffer. One day, his mother went to take bath in the Alvai river, but that old lady on the way fell down. So he brought back his mother to the home, and he was praying to the Divine Mother, Mother, why don't you bring the river near our home so that my mother will not have to walk such a long distance to have bath? Next day, the river came near their home. The course of the river changed. I remember I took bath there I went in the middle of the river, only maybe waist deep. I had to bend to take bath there. But the story goes, one day he went to take bath with his mother, and crocodile caught him. And he was crying, "Mother, the crocodile caught me, please give me permission so that I could be a monk, then perhaps my life will be saved." Mother was crying, what to do. At last she gave permission. The crocodile left, or crocodiles were caught by the fishermen, and Shankara's life is saved. At that time he was 8 years old. He took sannyas and he left home. His mother was crying. Then Shankara promised that I shall look after you, even at the time of death I shall appear before you. He was very devoted to his mother. Then he heard about the name of Govindapada, the great yogi. Some people say that he is Rishi Patanjali. He used to live in Omkareshwar. There also I went in 1990 I went. On the bank of the Narmada river. Very holy place. Govindapada has many disciples, but he was immersed in Samadhi for hundreds and hundreds of years. Nobody knows. Shankara went to him and sang a hymn, 8 verses on the Guru. Shariram surupam sadarogo muktam jasascharu chitram dhanam merutullam gururungi padme manusyanna lagnam tatakim 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 kalatram dhanam putra putradi sarvam griyam bandhava sarvameta dijatam Gururangi padme manusyena lagnam tatakim 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 Sharangadi veda mukha shastra vidya kavitancha goiddam supaddam karuti Gururangi padme manusyena lagnam tatakim 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 tatakim. In this way he repeated 8 verses. The meaning is, Shariram Shurupo, you might have a beautiful body, diseaseless body. Shariram Sardaro, Jasasari, you might have a fame, you might have a wealth like the mountain. But if you do not have love or devotion for the Guru, what does it avail? What does it avail? What does it avail? You might have friends and family, you may be very famous. Your home may be very, very fancy home. But if you have no devotion, what does it mean? For your Guru, what does it avail? You may be a great writer, great poet. But if you have no devotion for the Guru, what does it avail? What does it avail? In this way, he repeated 8 verses on the Guru. Immediately, slowly, Govindapada opened his eyes. He realized that my successor, my student arrived. So he started to teach him. The first year he taught Hatha Yoga. Second year, Raja Yoga. Third year, Jnana Yoga. He was fully equipped, got the wisdom. Then the Guru said, now you go to Benares, Kashi. Benares is the seat of learning and culture of India. Varanasi. Now you go and teach Vedanta. Then Guru gave up his body. He came to Benares. One day he went to take bath in the Ganges, and they found a woman is seated on the step with a dead body. And he asked the woman, please, this is the bathing ghat, take your husband to the cremation ground. Then that woman says, why don't you ask this Jetbaji to go to the cremation ground? Jetbaji cannot go. Jetbaji is jada, matter. But you preach that everything is Brahman, everything is consciousness, so Jetbaji is consciousness, let it go. Then he realized, my goodness. Then that Jetbaji and that woman disappeared. It was the Divine Mother wanted to give him teachings. Do you know what is the problem? He didn't believe in Shakti. He understood Brahman, not Shakti, power of Brahman. Then another day he found a Chandala is walking through the street with 4 dogs. So Shankara says, Duram apasarare Chandala, a outcast, give my way, stay away from the street. Then that man says, Chandala says, whom are you talking to? Chandala? Are you asking the body or the dog or me? You say that everything is Brahman, everything is Brahman. We still have this power of discrimination that you are Brahmin, you are Chandala. Shankara realized his mistake. Then it was Lord Shiva appeared before him and told him, go to Badarika Ashrama and write about Vedanta. I bless you. So he went to Badarika Ashrama, northern part of India in the Himalayas. I went there in 1977, Kedarnath, Badrinath. I went to Basha Gumpa. People say where Shankara wrote that commentaries. Within 4 years he wrote all of his writings. 51 books. "50 books as a spiritual instructions, 75 hymns he wrote, 22 commentaries. Then he came to Uttarkashi. There he found that a Brahmin came, old man, wanted to debate with him. So they have started. 7 days, nobody could defeat each other. Then Shankara's disciples see that this man is not an ordinary man. Why don't you ask him that who he is? So Shankara asked, please tell me who you are. He says, I am Basha. I wanted to test you. So Basha was very pleased that you got the good lessons of Vedanta and you are understood what Vedanta is. Now you preach this Vedanta all over India. You are supposed to die at the age of 16, but I am extending another 16 years so that you will live up to 32. What a wonderful way. Shankara began to travel, but first you go and defeat Kumaril Bhatto. He is an exponent of Mimamsa philosophy, the Karma Kanja, the working part, ritualistic part of the Vedas. So he went there, he found that he was dying. So Kumaril says, I have no time to talk to you, but if you defeat my disciple, Manjan Mishra, then that will be equal to my defeat. So you go to Maheshmati and debate with him. So Shankara went to him, and there is a great debate. Who would be the umpire? Manjan Mishra's wife, named Ubhay Bharati. She became the umpire. She is an incarnation of Saraswati. So 7 days debate. On the 8th day, they found Manjan Mishra's garland was drying up. He was out of ideas. So he accepted his defeat. There is a condition between the defeat. If you defeat me, I will be your disciple. And if I defeat you, you will be my disciple. So Manjana became Shankara's disciple. But Manjana's wife says, no. Still it is not finished. He is my husband. Half you have defeated. Now you will have to defeat me. Without defeating me, I won't allow my husband to go and be your disciple. So, the Ubhay Bharati asked some questions about the Kama Shastra. Shankara says about lust, about sex life. Shankara says, I am a monk, I am not supposed to talk about it. Oh, and then you are defeated by me. Then Shankara says, all right, please give me 1 month time. I shall not talk, but I shall write about it and give to you. I shall answer all of your questions by writing. But he knew Hatha Yoga, Parokiya Pravesh. When he can enter into a dead body, he can enter in anybody's body. He has that occult power. So they found a Amuruk country, they were going with Shankara is going with disciple. They found the king died. And they are about to cremate him. Shankara says, this is the best chance I got. I shall enter his body and you keep my body in this cave and protect it. So Shankara immediately left his body and entered in the king's body, and the people, those who brought him in the cremation ground, they are elated. Hey, our king is alive. Brought back to the home, and at night time, and he asked his wives and other, and got all information, and wrote the book. Then they were thinking that, he must be a yogi, entered our king's body. But burn all the bodies around the country. Anyhow, Shankara's disciple Padmapad came and reminded him. So immediately he left that body and entered into his own body and carried that book to. He gave that book to his disciple before he left the body, and then he gave to Ubhay Bharati. And Manjan Mishra became his disciple. Very fancy story. He has 4 disciples, many disciples, but 4 are main. All of a sudden, he experienced that mother's breast milk in his mouth. Immediately he remembered that perhaps my mother is thinking of me. So, through this subtle body, what is called, he went to his mother. And he cremated his mother. And before the death of his mother, he showed her Vishnu, her chosen deity. Shankara traveled in India. There is a list of the places. At that time, always remember, you have to walk on foot. There is no car, no train, no aeroplane. How from Kashmir to Rameshwaram and Dwarka to Puri and even Assam, this whole country Swami Shankara traveled. You know, there's a list that how many places he traveled. And what he did, he defeated, at that time there are 75 philosophical schools in India. He defeated all of them and established his non-dualistic philosophy. So he established 4 monasteries. One is Dwarka, Sharada Math, Puri, Govardhan Math. In the Himalayas, Joshi Math, near Badrika Ashrama. I was there. And the east and the south, Sringeri Math. And he established these 4 monasteries, protected the Vedantic tradition, and the 10 monastic orders, they carried the Vedantic message. So we belong to that Shankara's order. Sri Ramakrishna's guru was Totapuri, was one of the Vedanta sects. There are 10 sects: Tirtha, Bon, Aranya, Giri, Puri, Bharati, Parvat, Sagar, Ashram, Saraswati. These are the 10 monastic sects of Shankara. Now I shall talk about philosophy. About Brahman. What is Brahman? Brahman is Brihat, vast, Mahan, great, all pervading. Existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. The substratum of whole creation. So those who come to Vedanta first, you know what they are supposed to do? They are supposed to ask, who am I? What is your true nature? I am neither the body, not the mind, not the senses. Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am Chidananda. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. I am Brahman. But we do not think about it. We do not feel that thing. I think I am Chetanananda, I am a monk. You people think I am this, I am that. So what is our true nature? Atmanam Viddhi, know thyself. Now, if Jibir Gyan, how shall I go? First, try to differentiate between Chit and Jor, consciousness and unconsciousness, spirit and matter. Spirit and matter. Subject and object. As I said that, we are not born on earth. This world is subject and object, drashta drishya. Atma, Anatma. This Atman is the existence. Nobody denies his own existence. I exist. All right, you exist, you stay like a stone all through your life. No, I like to be conscious. All right, you have your existence, you have your consciousness. I shall put you in a dungeon forever. No, I want bliss, freedom. So you see, these three things are inherent in human beings. Existence, I believe I exist. I believe that I am conscious. I believe I am bliss. If there is no bliss, people will not live in this world. So that is the true nature, but we forgot it. We forgot our true nature. How? Who made this forgetfulness? Ignorance. We forgot. Shankara says in the Bhashya, Satyanrite mithuni kritta, ahamidam, mamaidam, iti, nuishargiko loko bhavara. The ultimate truth, Brahman, is Nirgun, Nirakar. That Brahman becomes Shagun with his Maya power. And then comes this universe and all these beings. Shankara says, Aham idam, I, subject, you, object. This whole world is a connection between I and you, I and you, I and you. Subject, object, subject, object. Subject is conscious, object is unconscious. So the subject and object are mixed up, that is the life going on in this world, which is natural, mixed up. Only subject does not work, only object does not work. Let me give an example. Pure gold cannot make a jewelry. You will have to add alloy. Then you can say, pure gold is very soft. So with alloy you make all the jewelry. So absolute truth is samadhi. You cannot function. Then you come relative. This sometimes some people get confused, this absolute and relative. Then absolute relative point, Brahman alone exists and nothing else. But the relative standpoint, oh no. The world exists. My stomach pain, my headache, my hunger, my thirst, these things are all real. My husband, my wife, my children, my family, my car, my home, they are all real. But not absolutely real, that Vedanta says. When you go to deep sleep, your husband, your wife, your children come, everything disappears and everything appears. So they started to talk about what is real and what is unreal. The real is the thing which exists all the time, past, present and future. There is nothing in this world you will find exists all the time. I was born some years ago, I will die some years after. And in 3 stages, Jagrat, Sapna, Sushupti, waking, dream and sleep, we are continuously fluctuating. The thing which changes, the thing which is created, is subject to destruction. That is the conclusion of Vedanta. The thing which is created will be destroyed. But Brahman cannot be destroyed. Brahman is eternal. So where is the problem? Problem is in ignorance. What is ignorance? Vedanta Shara gives 6 adjectives, 6 signs of an ignorance. Shat, asat. It is neither real nor unreal. Real like Brahman, eternal, or unreal like mirage. It is neither real nor unreal. It is something. Next is anirvachanyo. You cannot explain. How will you explain? Darkness cannot explain darkness. Ignorance cannot explain ignorance. Anirvachanyo. Unspeakable, unthinkable, inconceivable. The third adjective is trigunatmakam. It has 3 gunas. The whole world is the whole playing of the gunas. Then jnana virodhi. It stops. Ignorance disappears when knowledge comes. The darkness goes away when the light comes. Bhava rupam. It is not abhav. It is not non-existence. It exists. Ignorance. We see ignorance. Shakti, power. You don't see the electricity, but you see the light. You see the microphone, you see your computer. All this functioning because of that electricity. But you cannot see it. But it is there. Bhavarupan, it is something. Jatkinchit. Jatkinchit means it is austere padartha. It is very shaky, some kind of magic things, this Maya. But Anubhav Siddha, we all feel it. We all experience it. You cannot deny ignorance. Every day we are experiencing my happiness, my misery, my suffering, my problems. So many things we are experiencing. How can I deny it? My hunger, my thirst, I cannot deny it. And if you know the ignorance, what will happen? Ignorance goes away. The moment you bring the light, darkness goes away. So, Vedanta Shankara says, Adhyash. This one Shankara mentions quite often, Adhyash. Adhyash means superimposition. Truth is there, untruth covers it. Example, rope snake. There is a rope on the floor due to darkness, not deep dark, but semi-dark. I may think that it is a snake, or a garland, or a watermark, or maybe a crack on the floor. I am projecting all these things on the same rope. The moment I bring the flashlight and see, it is a rope. So we superimposed snake on the rope. When knowledge comes, snake goes away. Why does it go? No, because which is not there. It is all projections of the mind. Swamiji given a beautiful example. There is a stump of a tree in the park. A police was thinking that he was a thief, and thief was thinking he was a policeman. A man was thinking, by perhaps my sweetheart is waiting for me. And a woman was thinking, by my husband, somebody was, my paramour is waiting for me. A child is thinking, perhaps he's a ghost. All these people are projecting one stump of a tree because of darkness. So this is called Adhyash, superimposition. We are all superimposed. My Atman is covered by the 5 sheaths. Blissful sheath, intellectual sheath, mental sheath, vital sheath, and physical sheath. We covered it and now behaving in this world. I am Chetanananda, I am this, I am that. Adhyash. How can I get rid of these things? Vichar karo. discriminate what is real, what is unreal, meditate, vichar. This Brahman is Saprakash. It does not need anything to see Brahman. Let me give an example. You will understand better what I am talking about. How do we see this world? Here is the sun, and here is a mirror. I take the reflection of the mirror and playing and seeing various things. But this mirror reflection is not the original. Sunlight is the original, but this is the reflection. So, on our mind, that Brahman consciousness reflects. And our mind, we are seeing this world through the mind mirror. That is the truth. You stand in front of a mirror. What do you see? Reflection of your face. If somebody hits that face, you do not feel it. That is a reflected face. That is not real. But if in original face, if somebody hits you, it hurts. So all these human beings you see, they are playing with the reflected consciousness. That is called Chit Jad Grunthi. That consciousness and the mind intellect, that antakarana, they become sandwiched. That is called Tadatma Adhyas, according to Vedanta. These two becomes one, and then human beings becomes conscious and they play. How can I get rid of it? Mantra is there. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. These mantras will hypnotize yourself. We are all hypnotized. We are all in disguise. Brahman, all are working with the man, woman, rich, poor. This is all Brahman. Of course, Vedantic, if you want to study Vedanta, you need disciplines. Shankara mentioned sadhana chatushtaya, discrimination, renunciation, self-control, desire for liberation. Shankara mentioned another thing quite emphatically. Shruti, Guru, এবং Anubhuti. These things are very important. The scripture and the Guru, they will give you knowledge, and then you practice yourself. Then he decides, some people think the action and knowledge are they different. No. Action is Purushatantra. There are three alternatives are there in action. I can do it, I may not do it, or I can do it something else. Kortum, akortum, annatha ba kortum. That is me, I can decide. But knowledge does not depend, it is bostu tantra. A chair is there, I see chair. I cannot make it a water pot. My knowledge, that knowledge remains, knowledge cannot be changed. This knowledge, Chaitanya, consciousness are the same. Same consciousness prevails in everything and every being. Again, as I said, this world, Shankara believed the Vyavaharik Satta. We get knowledge. How do you get knowledge? Through three ways. Desho, Kala, Bostu. Desh means space. It is room space, that is park space, that is street space, bathroom space. All the space, Desh, Sthan. That is the way we have knowledge. Kal, time, today, yesterday, tomorrow, time. And Bostu, object. This is chair, this is microphone, this is book. This is the way we get knowledge. As I said, this whole world is in the mind. When duality dissolves, Atman prevails. What does duality do? It is a disease. If you see two moons, what does it mean? Double vision. There is a glaucoma eyes defect. You are driving cars, if you see two cars are coming toward you, that means you have a problem. So you go to a doctor. So when we see the diversity, multiplicity in this world, that means we have a disease. And name of that disease is ignorance. How to get rid of this ignorance? That is the reason we come to spiritual life. Ishwar, Brahma, Jeev, Vivinnavadi, Nirgun, Ishwar, Jagat, Brahma. Shankara believed in bhakti. He says, Moksha karana samagram bhaktireva goriyoshi. In the path of liberation, bhakti, devotion also is very important. But do you know how Jaji defines devotion? Swasarupa anusandhanam bhakti. Search for your inward self, Atman, that is devotion. Shankara says, this is the way you should go. Listen, first do nishkam karma, good karma, special. Work according to the scripture. That will purify the mind. When your mind will be purified, then you practice upasana, prayer. That will make your mind one-pointed. And then will come mukti, liberation. That is the way Shankara says. You are already liberated, but you do not know. But Shankara says this is the way you can practice spiritual disciplines, and then you will be free. Object conscious. When Vedanta says this world is not real, people think that fellow is crazy. This world is not real, that means you are crazy. This world is so real to us. And Vedanta says this world is not real. They have many reasons. Drishyatvat, angshatvat, jadatvat, parichinnatvat. In Advaita Siddhi, they gave 28 reasons and prove that world is not real. Drishyatva, the thing which you see, that is not real. Angshatva, the thing which has a part, that is not real. Jadatva, the thing which is a matter cannot be real. Parichinnatva, the thing which is limited is not real. Very interesting, Ajatavad. Oh my goodness, time is over. Yeah, some people think that those who think that this Advaita Vedanta, Brahman alone is real, this world is not real. I always tell people, watch two words, Asat, Mithya. Asat means the thing which does not exist and you cannot see. The son of a barren woman. It does not exist, we do not see. Or a castle in the air, we do not see it, but we express it. But there is something, it does not exist, but we can see. Example, water in the mirage. We see, but if you go there, there is no water. It is the sun reflecting on the sand. Now, watch our minds. All human beings have 5 conditions. First, kshipta, restless. Second, mudho, dull. Vikshipto, scattered. Ekagro, concentrated. Niruddha, calm, closed. So these 5 conditions of the mind. So if we watch our minds all the time, so many thoughts, good, bad, horrible, so many things are passing over the minds, we cannot express it. A terrible madness is going inside us. We cannot express it. We will be ashamed. Our social civility will fall apart. Marriage will break. If husband tells what comes to his mind, wife says everything comes to his mind. My goodness, my goodness. We see a terrible madness is going inside us. We are mad, mad. But we, with pant, coat, we dress up, we see that I am a gentleman. But actually we are crazy. A tremendous madness is inside going on all the time. We cannot express it. Do you know what Swamiji said? Difference between sane and insane. A sane has a control over his emotions, and the insane does not have any control. That is the only difference between sane and insane. We are normal human beings, but we have pretty control. But how can I cure my madness? Do you know what the scripture says? Take refuge in 3 places: God, Guru, and the scripture. Then your mind will be purified. Then all of your madness, inner madness will vanish, and the Atman will manifest. Brahmavid paramapnoti, the knower of Brahman attains the highest. Shokam taruti shatmavid, a knower of Atman transcends grief, misery, everything. Attains supreme bliss. That is the ultimate teachings of Shankara's Vedanta, mukti, liberation, be free. Thank you. Masatoma sadgamayam, tamasoma jyotirgamayam, mrityorma amritam gamayam, abhiravirma yedhi, rudrajatte dakshinam mukham, tenamam pahi nityam, om shanti shanti shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality, and light us through and through, and guide us evermore with the loving presence. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. I have an announcement. Some people are asking to donate some money for the COVID relief in India. They can send money to Vedanta Society of St. Louis. I talked to Belur Math. They are doing some relief work in different places. So, of course, those who will send money, they will get tax exemption from if you send money to our Vedanta Society. So many people are asking, Swami, how can I help? How can I help? So I am announcing, you can send money to Vedanta Society. Please mention that it is for the COVID relief in India, for Ramakrishna Mission. Thank you. Please give us a couple of minutes time. We shall go to Zoom now.